I'm not a big fan of Anderson Silva. I have not been a big fan of Anderson Silva just since he's been caught cheating. I've made it very clear. I'm not fans of people that have been caught cheating. Now, it has nothing to do with being a fan. Just has to do with I don't generally like kind of support their like the fact that there was a ton of things that were let into him being considered to be one of the greatest of all time and all these other things. And I just have always wondered like how many times he has how long he's been fighting and how many of those fights and those wins has he cheated. So those are things that have always been on my mind. And I wonder if we go back through a lot of his past drug tests with USADA and if they would come up with anything that would catch them for cheating. So I think about it all the time, and I'm not sure if that's something USADA will do. I know they did that a little bit with TJ Dillashaw, and they had caught him cheating in some of his past fights. Apparently, there was none of them that were in the Cody No Love fights, but that there was some apparent cheating from before. I think that's why he got the full 2-year suspension. But just to be honest with you, look, at this age and with the losses and everything that he has apparently accomplished, and I don't know how much of it is he accomplished legitly, but I feel like at this stage, just recently he was asking for a TRT exemption again, and that it should be allowed to be, they should be allowed to use TRT again. And I feel like it's almost like somebody doesn't know how to fight without it. When somebody is basically bringing it up that they should allow it to happen again, and you could tell that he was probably using it then for him to come out and say that he would like to have that exemption brought back.
It's like going to rehab and saying, "Can I just get a drink tonight?"
Yeah, I don't know. And look, I'm not trying to. I really am not trying to slam him or talk bad about him. I just feel like there's a ton of things that I think there was just too many fights that he had. They were so dominating, and his height, his length, his reach, his speed, all those things. Obviously, he had all those intangibles, probably before he was cheating. But here's the thing: you look at like guys like Lance Armstrong, and this is the number one thing that people will always refer to as far as cheating. Is in cycling, it's well known that pretty much everyone cheated, and Lance Armstrong just so happened to be the best at the cheating aspect of it. That's why he had won so many Tour de France's. Like he was just cheating against guys that didn't know how to cheat as well as him, and that's all it was, And I think maybe in the times that Anderson was cheating, sure, maybe a lot of the other guys were cheating because they're still catching guys cheating now with USADA, and. Look, if those guys are getting caught cheating now with USADA, it means that they were cheating a long time ago when there wasn't as much probably drug testing before. And I don't even know how much, and I've said this I don't know how many times, I sometimes feel like USADA is crooked, because you don't hear about the drug test and the failing of the drug test until after the fight, until after the money's been made by the organization, until after someone has been knocked out by whatever fighter, and then, all of a sudden, these guys are testing positive. So, I think those are the fights that I think that I feel like that there's so many different ways for me to look at it, and this is I think as somebody at his age, 44 years old, still trying to fight. Obviously, it sounds like he tore his knee, and if he did tear his knee, I mean he'll be out for at least a year. He'll come back at like 45, maybe 46 years old. I just don't see it happening, and And if he does, I mean, is he gonna stay on the USADA testing, while he's trying to recuperate? So those are all things that I think are we keep inside the wheelhouse and we see what happens. But this may be the last time we ever see him fight. And now here's the thing, and let's be honest. I mean, are we in the baseball era of putting these guys with an asterisk next to their name in the home run derby? Like, you have all these wins. I believe he had, like, most consecutive wins as a title defense or whatever. Do we put an asterisk next to his name? Like, if you think so, just comment down below. Or just comment in the comment section and say, like, yes or no. Or whatever it is you think. But, I mean, like, I feel like there's an era of things that we should maybe put an asterisk next to these guys' names. And I don't know. There's a lot to be said about all this, and as far as Anderson Silva goes, I almost feel like the same kind of way I feel about John Jones. They were guys that had all the intangibles. They had the speed, the length, the reach, obviously this outstanding stand-up technique, and not too bad on the ground. And John Jones had good wrestling. Anderson Silva had good wrestling takedown defense. Not really good wrestling himself, but he had good defense, decent defense. I mean, like these guys, when you compare the two guys together, they're very much almost very similar in style. John Jones obviously had a lot better wrestling overall, and just a different, he had a different repertoire of things that he would throw out there. He's the younger version. I think if Anderson Silva was the now version of a John Jones, I think they would be almost exactly alike. I mean, you'd see more of the spinning back up elbows and whatever, all the things that John has gotten away with doing and trying to do, and he kind of set the precedent for coming out the gates trying to do things that we'd never seen before. Very impressive. The athleticism is all there. But the fact that they've both been caught cheating, they've both been caught being, and one being caught, being just a dumbass with a bunch of other stuff. But the two of them, they had all the intangibles. And so when people say oh, well, they'd still be champions if they didn't cheat. Well, how do you know? How do you don't know that? And that's the only thing that concerns me, is that you'll never know. And that's the only thing that bothers me the most, is that, yeah, they probably would have been champions. I'm just simply saying they probably both would have been champions. Maybe they wouldn't have been as champions as long, or maybe they just, whatever it is. But I mean, we'll never know. That's the issue. The issue and the concern is that we'll never know. So do we put an asterisk next to their name? I mean, I feel like we do. We should. And I think there's other guys. Guys like Jose Aldo have never tested positive. They've always looked the part, like maybe they were, but then they fight like animals, man. Jose Aldo was a fucking warrior. And I don't ever recall him testing positive. I love watching the guy fight. He has a fighting style that you could potentially say maybe would make him test positive. We've seen guys that are extremely powerful, strong, athletic, and all these things, right? And they tend to kind of slow down and gas out, in top level fights. And he's had a couple of those type of fights where he's fought guys that just had better push and cardio than him, because he throws everything with so much power. So that was, you could say, but he's never tested positive. He's never been that guy. And, and so I just, with guys like him, and there was a lot of rumors about GSP as well, but he never tested positive. So when you have GSP and you've got Jose Aldo, and there's guys like that have never tested positive, I'm not someone to criticize them or just take away all the accolades they've done and can put them in the same category as someone like John Jones and Anderson Silva. And I'm sure I'm going to get crucified for this on, all over social media or all over YouTube. But it's the bottom line is that you have guys like that have never tested hot and that still have managed to be at the top, and it always just leaves the doubt and the wonder of what's going on. And that's all. And that's enough. That's the most I'm going to probably talk on that. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that exclusive content of Sammy and the Punk. Also, hit these videos for more exclusive content and hit the subscribe button on the bottom corner.